It's a 12-week, 4-phase program, and each phase is 3 weeks. And 3 weeks, patients will be staying with me 3 times a week for the laser therapy or photobiomodulation therapy. And this is a laser light applies through the skull into the brain, 4 areas called default mode network. And researcher has found that these 4 areas with a light can really help rejuvenate the brain. And then also intranasally, so the light has to be applied through the nose, and which can reach the frontal brain. A lot of brain disease patients eventually lose some of the personality, have some personality change. And so it's good to really address that to treat the frontal brain. And also we apply lights at the neck cervical area, because we realize that that's area that's a brain stem and it has a spinal fluid. And the one way to help is to help patients sleep better, and then the brain can doing the detoxification during the sleep. And that's why the lights also applies there. So this is 3 times a week with acupuncture and with a light with me. And then in the first phase, during the first 3 weeks of the program, we really want a so-called wake-up phase, really try to get patients' body to move. So that's why the patient also sees my movement therapist, Jill, who will educate and help patient move better. And then the second phase, patients will begin to understand how to eat much better. And that means incorporate a lot more plant-based food into their daily diet. And of course, it's a challenge for most American patients if they eating lots and lots of animal based food in their life, and how to switch to plant-based. It's very difficult. So that's why there's a huge learning curve for this area, and I consider it's probably the most challenging component of the program. Try to ask the patient to eat differently. So this is why we need a good coach, and that's how I bring Carrie-Ann into the program. She will meet with a patient once a week for 3 weeks in the second phase. We call it open up, basically help open up the system. Because a lot of Parkinson patients has chronic constipation, so it's kind of backed up down there. So we try to open up, and I try to be a little bit more explicit that we try to open up the digestive systems and get the system going, try to rebuild the gut, which is second brain. So we got to keep the second brain healthy and restore the function of second brain. Then the second brain can turn around, help the first brain. So that's the first 2 phases. And the third phase, we get patient ready to get on the stationary bicycle called TheraCycle, which is a very different kind of a stationary bike. It has a motor that helps move patients, pedal fast. So it's not the cycling itself, it's the pedaling. And the pedaling has to be fast enough, like at least 15 miles an hour. Now, most patients at the beginning, they don't have the stamina. So this is why this motorized stationary bicycle is so helpful, because the scientists already figured out that with a high-speed pedaling that actually puts the dopamine into the brain. And so that will be the third phase. And then during these 3 weeks, a patient also meet with my unwind therapist, Maria. She's also a massage therapist. She's will help teach meditation, because probably none of us have this kind of habit of doing daily meditation, which is very, very helpful to calm the system down, because the stress management is the one major component in the Loma Linda's Alzheimer prevention and reversal program, and to help many stressed out Americans. And so this is one way to help in the third phase. Not only they already got better sleep from the first 2 phases, the third phase they learn how to meditate, how to change the brain wave. And then Maria also gonna do neural massage, get the muscles all toned up. So they will get on this bicycle and begin to go from maybe some of my patients will start with 2 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour, and they wind up doing 15 miles, which is the maximum speed on this device. But they will be doing like 20, 30 minutes sustainable bicycling. So that will be the third phase. And then the final phase called keep up. Because once the patient learns all these skills, and they have to keep it up. And doing this keep up, I'll continue with my photobiomodulation and the acupuncture therapies. But the patient is able to communicate with my other teammates and address any concerns, anything that they can sustain long term. And once they graduate from this 12-week, then they will hopefully get their own bicycle, and I will take them out to the park and outdoors. We're gonna have a potluck and social, which is very important for Parkinson patients. And the social activities really help rejuvenate the brain. And then once they're able to have these kind of social activities combining with bicycling on their own power, on their own bike, that will be a totally different perspective, because of most Parkinson patients eventually all confined in their own house, in their own chair, and the brain is not going to be able to rejuvenate under that condition. So that's what's going to happen with everything combined, and that's what this program entails, try to help restore what you have lost, and we try to keep what you still have.